start with a compliment because you were just outstanding in last night's episode.
Thank you so
much. I have not been that affected by an episode of television in a really long time. Huge congrats on that. All the praise is well deserved. But that opening sequence was just unreal. I want to kind of break it down with you. Can you talk about filming those scenes between Rue, Gia, and Leslie?
It was a lot. I'm still kind of trying to gather myself. As soon as we got the script, we knew that this episode was going to be pivotal in the progression of moving the story forward, kind of dealing with Rue's addiction head on. And I think each one of us knew we had a role to play, and we did that. And I think it actually surpassed my expectations when I saw it in the, online during the streaming last night. I was just like, wow. I mean, I've cried a couple times watching it. I know it's weird, but I'm so removed from it now. I can look at it for what it is. And it just, every time I watch it, it really moves me.
Yeah, definitely. And I also, that moment in that sequence when we find out Jules and Elliot are there with Rue's family was just, it made everyone pause and it made everything more intense. What do you think that personally added to the dynamic of that scene?
You really didn't see it coming. Even when we read it and I knew what was going to happen. And my mom was here and we got the screeners early. And I'm like, Mom, you don't want to watch it all right now. Just wait, watch it as it comes out, because you're going to be surprised. It's going to build up to this moment. And, you have Jules and Elliot. I mean, they've heard everything that just happened, and the gravity of it, it just hits even harder. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, imagine it's like being a fly on the wall,
The other moment and they teased it in the trailer and fans were like freaking out about it was that car scene. Mm-hmm. Unreal. What was it like with that? I know Storm posted a selfie that was behind the scenes with you guys, and you guys were all happy and smiling. And Zendaya said, she couldn't have gotten through it without you both. Mm-hmm. And it's really nice seeing the closeness there. But what was it like doing such an intense scene in the, obviously the setting?
Well, let me just say, it wasn't all smiles the day of shooting. It was almost 110 degrees in the valley. It was extremely hot. The car did not have AC. We can't run the AC because of the sound. Yep. So we had no comfort at all. And it just, for me, we were all miserable, but I just used that to add to the moment of us just having this blowout scene at the house. And now we're in this contained, car trying to get to a destination. And I think it just added levels to it. I mean, it was so much more that happened in the car that, Sam decided not to use. But I think the scene, the edits that he used, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Definitely. And after filming something like that, obviously there's some time between filming and when the episode comes out, and you sort of spoke about it a little bit. But when you watch the episode, are you shocked? Were you not excited, but interested?
Yeah, but no, I am. Yeah. I am excited
how certain things come out, because filming and watching it are two different experiences.
Right, because when you're filming, you're doing multiple takes over and over and over and over again, and you don't know which take is going to be used, and you don't know how it's going to come together. So I think watching it last night, and of course that was like my 5th time watching it. Yeah. Now I'm just enjoying every morsel of it. And I think as the audience watches every Sunday, we see these kind of magnificent moments happening, and it's just like it's like really cinema magic, and to be a part of something like this, I am truly blessed.
No, it was amazing. And often obviously there are separate storylines, as there is with any show, and it was really interesting to see Leslie interacting with the other girls, as well as Lexi and Cassie's mom during that intervention scene. Were you surprised that we were going there in this episode? Because obviously we were waiting for the bomb to drop with Cassie and Nate, and to throw that in this episode just made everything that much more insane.
It really was a moving intervention, right? Like what started off, what I guess in Sam's mind was supposed to be contained at the house, surrounded around people who love you, people who want to see Rue clean. and it only escalated every scene. It just got more and more intense. And I think having those moments at the house, I love Alana. She plays Suze. I mean, we had some funny. I mean, I hope they do some bloopers because she had some funny one-liners. And just to see like this is her tribe, right? These are her friends. These are the adults who love her. These are the adults who support Leslie. And to kind of have all of that in one scene and then have the bomb dropped about, Cassie and Nate, messing around. It was just, oh my gosh. It was just like, I swear, like every moment I'm like, oh my gosh, this is happening. This is really happening.
Yeah. And you never knew when it was going to come, but even especially for you to be part of that scene, I would be so excited.
And I have a line where I'm like, I don't care who's effing who. Like, y'all need to leave.
I can't imagine how challenging this episode was for all of you to film. And it came out, worth it. But was there a specific challenge that you felt is going to help you acting wise going forward that really just pushed you to a place that was, new or harder for you to get to?
I think the level of exhaustion that Leslie is experiencing in episode 5 is obvious, right? Like she's literally like at her wit's end. And I think as an actor, you have to push yourself to go further and further and find moments where, you maybe you don't have lines. Like it's some scenes I don't have lines. I'm just like taking it all in. And I'm just like really empathizing with my daughter. Like, Zendaya's character, Rue, is like, oh my gosh, like I'm hurting for you, and I think as an actor, you want to make sure that you're always in a place of like giving, like I want to give more to this character. I want to give more to my scene partner. And I think we all do a great job of really, uplifting each other in the scene, however that comes, but also understanding that we have to serve the characters and tell their stories.
Yeah, definitely. And you kind of led us into our next question perfectly, because the character of Leslie, there is so much there. I want to know, at the end of the day, what has she given you? Has playing her taught you anything or given you a lesson that you feel you're going to take in your personal life going forward?
Leslie has forever changed my life. My background is comedy, and comedy is like is a defense mechanism for me. I've had some, issues and traumas and stuff like that, but I use laughter. And I think Leslie has made me kind of like, remove the veil and kind of get in touch with like my feelings, like, because I'm not a crier. Like I'm telling you, I hate to cry. Like growing up in my family, you did not cry because that was weakness. And then I went to therapy at 27 and it was like, no, you cry. And then I haven't stopped crying since. So it's like, having those opportunities to kind of just let it all, pour out and kind of like just be a vessel. And I'm just so, like I said, I am truly honored to play Leslie and to bring her story to the world.
Yeah. And obviously we have some episodes to go. Fans are on the edges. I'm on the edge of my seat because I've only seen up to episode 7. So I am eagerly awaiting the finale.
Yes, y'all are.
So I'm so ready for it. But what can you tease for me about the rest of the season without giving too much away, obviously?
So we've hit this moment of, intervention for Rue. And I think now it's all of us wanting and waiting to see if she actually is serious this time. And I think we're going to go into more depth of what Rue wants. And so we just have to wait and see what that looks like for the next couple episodes.
Yeah. And huge congrats are in order because you were renewed for a 3rd season.
Yes,
so
yes.
Obviously I will be watching and supporting that. Cannot wait.
Thank you.
Of course. What was your reaction when you heard that news?
Well, as an actor, I'm always like, yay, I'm working, like that's always a great feeling. And then also just, there's more stories to be told. There's more places to go. We definitely need to see Rue, go through this journey. I think she's getting there, but I think it's going to be a crossroad at some point. It's going to go all the way left or all the way right. And I think season 3 will definitely reveal some of those things, not only for Rue, but for other characters as well.
Yeah. And again, you led us into our next question because there's so much more story to be told. So I'm curious, is there a story that you want to be told on the show, whether that's addressing an issue or a dream storyline for Leslie, anything like that?
I think for me, I would love to see Leslie's backstory, who she is without the trauma, the addiction, where she came from, what makes her who she is. And then maybe possibly see her in a romantic situation, and kind of like finding someone to close that gap for their, family and make it whole. And so we'll see how that works out. Sam is always, writing some wonderful stories for each character. So I'm excited for season 3.
Yeah. And you obviously on the show tackle these real issues that affect a lot of people around the world and a lot of viewers. And a lot of people have made it known why they relate to the show or how they relate to the show. What does that add for you as part of the show? What does that add for you to see so many people relating and finding themselves in the stories you're telling?
I read every one of my DMs. People are surprised. I don't know. I mean, I'm like, I'm not that famous. You know what I'm saying? Like I can read my DMs and still be like, okay, heart, okay, like, okay, prayer hands, So when I see people saying, oh my gosh, I went through that, my brother was on drugs or my mom died, or, this reminded me of myself when I was going through depression. And I'm truly like moved by those, responses, because I feel like we're helping people, like we're giving people hope. I know it may not seem that way. It may seem dark and dreary, but at the end of the day, we show the resilience of a family who is committed to saving their loved one. And I think when people see that, they can relate. It doesn't necessarily have to be a drug addiction. It could be anything. It could be mental health. It could be poverty. It could be loss of job, loss of spouse. And I think we do a great job in showing people that, like, you're not the only one going through it. And that, if you just hold on, things will get better.
I want to give you a fun question to end.
Yes, fun.
Gotta give you something fun. If you could do a crossover between any other show that is on right now and Euphoria, what would it be?
I would have to say Ozark. That's my favorite show. Oh my gosh, the writing on that show, the acting. I mean, and see with Ozark, it's next level. Like anybody can get it. I think having that blend of Ozark and Euphoria, that's like a conglomerate of just craziness. Yes. I would watch that. I would watch that multiple times.
I think everyone would watch that. That's the perfect
craziness, crazy families. Like, oh my gosh, like those two together.
Explosion.
Oh my God.
Explosion. Nika, thank you so much again for taking the time. Congrats on everything. And I cannot wait to see the rest of the season and the finale.
Thank you for having me. Peace and blessings.
Of course, peace and blessings. Stay safe and have a great rest of your day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye. Bye.